everybody, and welcome to the Laws Communication Arts Podcast. My name is Daryl, your host for today, and bringing you the topic of essential parts of CSI 6. Now, CSI 6 is a level in the language arts workshop which involves job applications as well as interviewing skills. Right here with me, I have Sandra as well as Mr. Teo Jian. Now, Sandra, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Of course. Hi everyone, my name is Sandra, and currently this year I'm taking CSI 6 with my fellow friends.
Next up,
Hello everyone, my name is Ziyuan. Well, in CSI 6, there's actually 3 tasks that we're required to do. The first task being that we're supposed to give a presentation on a proposal that we created for an event. So for me, I chose a social event, and I'm pretty sure you guys chose different proposals, right? Or types of event to talk about?
Yeah, you are correct. I'm taking business enterprise, and what about you?
and I'm taking creative endeavor.
Alright, so these proposals are supposed to be given to an audience of 20 people, and you will be trying to encourage them to join you on your adventure. As for the second task, you will be an interviewee with the examiner who's going to be interviewing you, and it's going to be based off your application CV that you will send in on the spot. As for task 3, you have to be reading out you actually have to be discussing a certain piece of text with the examiner. The content of it will be chosen. The text will be chosen by the examiner on the spot. So it's more of an impromptu thing, one of the skills that we'll be talking more about later.
Well, thank you for the brief explanation and description of these tasks. Jian, would you like to give a whole overview about your task 1, perhaps? Your social event, as you said?
Alright, I'm actually working on a social event that is the Zhongling High School Literary Festival. And the 20 target audience that I mentioned just now, I'm going to be sharing this my proposal to a few of the professional writers, as well as publishing companies, as well as street vendors or food vendors, as they will be opening booths, and the professional writers as well as companies, they will be giving talks on the stage to the participants of this event.
That sounds marvelous. Would you indulge us in the reasons, perhaps?
Well, why I created this event or this proposal wasn't much of an inspiration. It was just more of because I enjoyed writing, and ever since young I've been exposed to literature, English literature in particular, here at law. So it just became like a second nature for me to be able to read books and just enjoy literature in general. So yeah, this is actually how I just came to want to start doing this. And also I've noticed that my fellow peers in school, they don't really enjoy literature in general, even Chinese literature. They would just prefer to not work on any form of books or poems, just literature in general. So yeah, I'm just trying to broaden their scope.
I love books, and it's crazy how you are trying to broaden their scopes, as I quote from you, and to increase awareness upon the lack of studying upon books. Anyways, speaking of books, Sandra, you said you were doing business enterprise. Are you perhaps selling books too?
No, I'm not selling books. I'm trying to sell my own recipe about a yogurt recipe and desserts.
That sounds so delicious. Can you please give a bit more description, perhaps?
Okay, my yogurt recipe is I'm selling to 20 cafe owners, and basically I'm doing this because actually I'm in love in cafe hunting, and I found out that they have all kinds of drinks like coffee or mojito or anything else, but they don't have much desserts, which we find it very frustrated only with cakes, And I find that yogurt is not really popular yet in Malaysia industry. So I think that selling my own recipe can increase the sales of the cafe owners and also increase my own CV too.
Sandra, you wanna share me? Just send me your prototype for the yogurt.
Oh my god, you want to try it? Of course.
Man, what cafe is out there that really doesn't have much dessert? It's quite disappointing. I do hope that you can show them the real importance of desserts in cafes. I think I'm the last one that hasn't shared your task, right?
Yeah, you're the only one left.
Oh God. My task is creative endeavor, as I just said, and it's about me proposing to my school to create a club that is all about mass communication. My dream topic. I'm gonna teach students what I've learned from my life, from law, and from many other sources out there, the way of using their voice effectively. And I plan to bring in the talented people that have gone unnoticed from my school.
So am I gonna see you on a Disney movie now?
Maybe, if I put my thought into it.
Okay.
You know? So, in the beginning, I talk about skills, and perhaps you guys have learned some skills too. I'm sure you have. We all have been in the same class together, right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
I'm sure you guys have learned some skills. So, do you want to share to me what are the important skills that you have learned that you have used so many times to progress through your CSI 6 journey? Let's start with you, Sandra.
I think the hardest and the hardest skills that I've learned now is the impromptu thinking, because for example our interview now, I need to answer you in a short time. I need to think a lot, and over the years that I've been learning in law, I try to think fast and brainstorm in my own brain, and to answer you, I think that's a huge improvement.
Impromptu. That's what we're kind of doing right now, don't
Yeah.
you think? What about Gian? What about you? Is your important skill also impromptu?
Actually, I quite agree with Sandra that the most important skill that we are needing right now is the impromptu skills, because even with the task 2 that I mentioned just now, which is a job interview with just an interview with the examiner, you need this skill to be able to answer the questions thrown by the examiner, and even just having conversations with your friends, you still need to have to come up with certain topics on the spot to share with your friends. And I'm pretty sure you know this, Sandra, but we are both interns here at law.
I feel so left out.
I mean, yeah, you'll get there eventually. But yeah, we have to have the impromptu thinking to come up with the content and what we want to say next, to be able to convey the lesson plan as well as the topics that we want to share with the kids and students here.
One more thing I want to add is we need to impromptu and answering questions from the parents, because they have lots of questions for us to understand what their kids are learning here too, right, Zian?
Yeah, certainly.
Well, I don't know if it's just me, but maybe because I'm not an intern, but I do think that the most important skill that I have learned, that I've used throughout my CSI 6, is the way of communicating with others, the way to speak louder, the way to project my voice as I'm doing currently. Because I think it is important for your audience to know. Plus, impromptu is mainly used in, as you guys said, like speaking to parents, but currently I'm not really an intern, so I don't really do much of that. I mostly rely on scripts, and I do think that articulation can boost my way towards the success.
I mean, considering how you are doing voice acting, I assume it's supposed to be a norm for you.
Definitely, it is something that is a must to learn. Well, that is all the time that we have for today's Communication Arts podcast episode. I hope that you guys have learned a lot from us three. I've definitely learned a lot from you both, definitely.
Same.
Oh, and by the way, CSI 6, let me tell you, is we learned CSI 6 not just for the sake of learning.
I have something to add. CSI 6 is just the beginning of our advanced level, right, Zian?
Yeah.
And I do hope that you guys will know that the skills that we learn here are definitely useful for us to apply in the future for anything that relates to job interviews, applications.
Or even just simple presentations, you know.
Definitely. Please stay tuned for our next episode. This is Daryl, Sandra, and Jian, and we will be signing out. Thank you very much.
Bye.